Welcome to Office of, a clubhouse for sharp takes on confidence, drive, and being a solid man. This is a place for unfiltered stories, questions get answered, and new ones get asked with some of today's most fascinating guys. This is your space, your story, your rules. Come on in. The door is open. Today's guest is Mark Ambor. If you've had his song Belong Together stuck in your head, you are not alone. The song took on a life of its own, carried by raw emotion, TikTok momentum, and lyrics that feel like they were written in the middle of a very, very honest moment. You and me belong together like cold iced tea and warmer weather, a line that somehow feels both intimate and universal at the same time. Mark grew up in New York and now calls the city home. But before the streams, the sold-out rooms, and the new album, he was writing one song a day, taking long morning walks to clear his head, and recording music in his parents' basement, where he was learning the discipline of showing up even when nobody was watching. At one point, he was even interning for the Maury Povich Show by day and building his own world by night. Now, his debut album, Rockwood, is a reflection of that process. It's grounded, it's emotional, and it's deeply personal as well. The name of the album itself nods to roots, structure, and growth, with the idea that who you become is shaped by where you started and what you're willing to sit with. For me, this conversation came at a very pivotal time in my life, and I am genuinely grateful that Mark stepped into the studio when he did. Here, we talk about being in the right headspace to create, the rituals that keep him steady, the pressure of sudden visibility, and what it means to stay connected to yourself as everything ramps up. This is Mark Ambor on Office of. I really like your style.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. From what I see on the internet.
Thank you
and
very
I have,
much.
And I have 3 pieces of clothing of yours that I like, that I've seen.
I can't wait to hear, actually.
I love the My Love Ringer tee.
Oh, thanks.
I just think it's really cool and it looks vintage, and I'm a romantic at heart, so I like that.
Oh, me too.
I'm from Toronto.
Nice.
So the Toronto Maple Leafs jersey I thought was great.
Oh, I loved that show. The Beanfield Theater.
Yeah.
You spend any time there?
Wait, the Beanfield
Is that what it's
Theater?
called? Oh, no, sorry. That's Montreal. I messed that up. Starts with a D. Danforth.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's sick. It's sick.
Yeah,
How was that show?
It's a great one. Honestly, Toronto and Montreal, those are always fun shows. Canada is like, I kind of see Canada as like an in-between between the US and Europe.
What do you mean?
Where like, so for me right now, my European shows, the fandom there is a little bit bigger than the US.
Yeah.
And Canada's like this in-between where, so like those European shows are crazy and fun and loud and exciting, and the US ones are sometimes more subdued compared to that. And Canada's this like awesome like in-between world.
Oh, that's awesome.
Where like they bring the energy, and yeah, I don't know. It's cool.
And then my third piece of clothing that I really like was obviously the Yale t-shirt that you were wearing in New Haven.
Yes, of course.
How was that show?
It was good. Toad's place is an iconic little spot. So it was cool. Yeah, I don't know. I've done so many shows this year. It's been wild, but
how are you doing right now? Like, how do you feel like right now?
I'd always had a show to look forward to during this whole touring kind of cycle, that when I got home late August and I sat down in my little studio, which was still in my parents' basement where I made my first stuff, I was like for the first time able to just soak in everything that had happened, and I, because I had nothing to look forward to. All I had was stuff to look back on almost. And so I think right now I'm in this space of, wow, that was so grateful and incredible thing that happened, and now I'm ready to kind of build something from scratch again and be really proud of it. And I'm really trying to take my time and dig deep on that right now. So I think with that comes a little bit of like fear, and like especially when it comes to like social media stuff, which I think we all probably have like anxiety about at the end of the day. But a lot of excitement for the actual music of it.
Do you feel like, so my brain operates at a higher frequency when I have a plan. If I know what's sort of happening in my life, it's not to say I need to be incredibly regimented, but if I know what the next like little bit looks like, my brain operates in a much better way. If there's chaos, I'm not somebody who thrives in chaos. I'm somebody who sort of like reverts back. And that's not a good place for me.
Gotcha. That's interesting. So I notoriously have always been like spontaneity is like where you capture excitement and where you capture like pureness almost for me. But I think as, you know, I've been lucky enough, I signed to a major label through the past year, and like, you know, the team that I work with is bigger now, and you can argue that the stakes are higher, quote unquote. So obviously everyone around me kind of needs a plan to like work together. So I think right now I'm honestly struggling with that in terms of like trying to stick to a plan. But I think at the end of the day, I will kind of feel good and regimented about that. But yeah, it's interesting that you say that. Hopefully I feel the same way soon.
What does sort of a normal day look like for you right now? I mean, I know you sort of mentioned that you're in this in-between period.
Yeah.
The shows have finished and you're figuring out what, and I'm sure you have a bit of a plan in place what's next with music coming out, and I'm sure working on more music. But
totally.
What does it sort of look like for you right now?
So, like I said, I made all this music in my parents' basement to this point, and I went on tour, and I did not move because I was.
Is your studio still in your parents' basement?
Yes, but brings me to the next point.
Okay.
I applied for an apartment yesterday, and I should be getting approved today. I'm moving to the city.
Fuck
so
yeah.
I'm excited about that. But my recent time has been just looking at apartments that I want to just move to, because I got home and I was like, I need to get out of this house right now.
Isn't the apartment search the worst?
Yes, it is. But I mean, once you find one that you really like, it becomes like you kind of forget. For me, anyway, I'm just like, oh, whatever. Like I did it, and now I found the spot that I like, so I'm happy.
I used to say there's two things that I would never, living in New York City, there's two things that I would never wish upon my worst enemy. It's a breakup and finding an apartment. And
I get that,
and I think they're obviously both brutal. But for me, the place in which I live matters so much.
Oh yeah,
especially in New York City, where the energy is psychotic. It's crazy. You're like thrown around in a million places. I love the idea of shutting the door and having a place that I can sort of call my own and sort of just breathe. And I think finding that within budget, which is like the hardest part. Within budget is like, it's really, really, really hard.
Yeah, definitely.
Are you happy with what you found?
Extremely. I'm very, very happy. I'm gonna I feel so lucky. I'm gonna have a little spot from my studio space, which I'm really excited about. A lot of natural light, which is number one for me.
Is that number one?
Yes, natural light has to be number one. I go crazy when there's no. Are you kidding me? I don't know. I need a sunrise. I need a sunset. I need to see midday sun. I need to be able to look out a window and feel inspired.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm lucky I found that. So I'm very, very excited. But beyond just, you know, the apartment search, I usually wake up and I try to write a song a day.
You do?
I try.
Wow.
And, you know, in that you go on trips to like LA and work with some people and maybe Nashville. But I've always kind of liked working alone the best. And I know it's kind of not very glamorous sounding. And it's like less fun maybe when you have a win. You only are celebrating kind of with yourself. But I've been trying to collaborate more, but there's something that keeps me back when I try to collaborate, and it's like not something I can really describe. It's just like something within me.
But do you do your best work when you're alone, or do you feel like you can be most
thus far?
Really?
Yeah, like all the stuff that's got me any success is alone.
Why do you think that is?
I think it just goes back to how I started making music. I think it's just like alone, being able to like close my eyes, you know, play whatever chords I'm feeling in that moment, kind of mumbling over them, words, phrases come to my head, and I start building around them, and I don't feel any sense of someone's judging me. I just feel like I can be as free as I've ever been, and I think that's where it stems from. And then like I think that's why.
Do you view songwriting as a practice? Like, you know, this is not the same at all.
Yeah.
But I like yoga. I'm doing it a lot more right now in my life. The more I do it, the better I get at it. It's a practice. Like I need to work at it. Do you feel like it's the same for songwriting, or do you feel like it's not necessarily a practice, but it's more about the headspace that you're in?
Oh, that's a really good question. If you asked me this like 4 months ago, I'd say it's the headspace.
Yeah.
But as I've spent the past, you know, month and a half to 2 months now just writing, you do notice yourself getting quicker with like the way you write. So I think it's probably a little bit of both. Because even right now, like if I'm not in the headspace to write about something, or you feel it when you're in the right headspace. I'm sure you know a similar feeling when you like, I don't know, when you feel inspired, you like know it. It's like you just feel it.
You feel it.
Yeah. And when you're not in that space, no matter how much practice you've done or hard work you've done, I don't think from my experience I can make something good if I'm not feeling that headspace.
But is that a lot of pressure to put on yourself to try and execute? Like you say, you try and write one song a day. Is that a full, like, from A to Z song? Or can it be the melody? Or do you try and sort of execute one polished song per day?
I try, and like sometimes it's a little give and take. And if nothing's coming, I like release. I'm just like, I don't force it. So obviously, like I said, I try. That doesn't mean I do every day. But I also know kind of things to do that kind of bring me inspiration, usually.
Like what?
Going outside, walking, listening to sometimes podcasts, listening to, artists and bands that I enjoy, finding new ones, watching live performances on YouTube.
Yeah. Why watching live performances on YouTube? What do you sort of take from that?
I think this kind of gets to the core of why I love music so much. When I get to see, these live performances are usually like big and they're like iconic bands, and I'm watching like Coldplay and I'm watching like the Goo Goo Dolls, and I'm watching like Billy Joel and Bruce Springsteen and like that stuff. At the core of it, I like music and I enjoy making music, and I hope my music can bring this sense of togetherness and community and just like being in that one moment with the people that you're with in that venue. And I don't know, when I get to see someone else do that and I see how they engage the crowd and I see it all go down in that sense, I get so inspired because I want to do that myself. And yeah, I think that's why.
I'm fascinated by performers because I can't imagine what it feels like to go on stage, perform and sing and present yourself in a really vulnerable way to thousands of people, however many people are there. I don't care if there's 5 or 100,000.
Yeah.
What does it feel like after? When the crowd has gone, you walk backstage, I guess you give your high fives. I don't know what goes on. And then you are back. Yeah. You're back by yourself.
Oh yeah. That is the weirdest part.
Is it weird?
Hands down, that's the weirdest part. Yeah, when you go backstage after, there's like so much, because usually you save your biggest song for last.
Yeah.
So that's the peak that you're getting. And then you go into the green room and it's silent. And you just sit there and you're a little bit tired, but you're also full of adrenaline. What is it like?
Is it a lonely feeling?
I would say right now I've never felt that. I'm lucky. I get to bring my friends from home on tour.
It's so cool.
So like my band is all my band first time touring ever. And I have like my best friend from home. His name's Eric. He's like, he works with his hands. He's like good at building things, fixing things, cars, plumbing, electric. Like he's just like that guy, the utility guy. And he's like down for anything. He's a great personality. So he gets to come on all this crazy journey with me, which is also really cool. His perspective of like growing up with me and just seeing the whole thing just kind of unfold the past 10 years or whatever. So when I go backstage and they're all there, it doesn't really feel lonely because like I said, we're all experiencing this feeling for the first time, which I think is one of the most important and valuable things I have on tour. All these people doing this for the first time.
Isn't that cool that you get to like?
It's so cool. It is so cool.
Because you get to sort of usher this in for people that you care about.
I know. It is insanely cool, and I'm in like, I have no words to describe how amazing that feeling is. Even like for like my siblings or my parents to just like go online and like see something like me like making like these covers in my room on Instagram, and then seeing like some followers, and then seeing the first song I put out do okay, and then they watch like Belong Together and Good to Be like do that what they did, and then they see me in Europe like at a just like that feeling. I think that's like one of the most exciting parts of it, among like obviously many others. Just like making people in your life proud and bringing people that you love with you. Like that's got to be the best feeling in the world, I think.
I'm sure it feels so good. We were talking a little bit about the stillness and the chaos. Do you have a ritual or something that you do daily that keeps you centered?
I'd only say a morning walk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Every morning?
I try, yeah. I mean, let's say yes.
Okay.
I try. But yeah. Or if I don't do it in the morning, I will be working in the morning on stuff, and then I'll go and do one in midday. I always try. I need to be outside, which is kind of, when you play music, like half your time spent in a studio, which I hate studios that don't have windows.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like Vegas. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, no,
you could be there all day long.
Yeah, it's terrible. So for that reason, I don't really love those like old studios.
Mm-hmm.
I love the history, but yeah. So yeah, usually a walk. There's no like weird thing that I do yet.
What about recording in your parents' basement? Like, what does that feel like? Safety? Does it feel safe?
Yeah, definitely safe. I think it's funny because like I would be like recording things down there, and my dad like has a very loud voice, so sometimes the mic when I'm recording something, like it catches voice, so I'd have to play this game of like, do I keep this take, do I do I do it again? And on my first album, Rockwood, like there are definitely moments where if you really listen, you could hear things like that.
Your dad's making like a cameo.
Oh my god, yeah, he's so loud. He's so loud, and he talks on speaker. I don't know if your parents do that, but like just like upstairs pacing around on speaker, loud. But yeah, so there's definitely comfort to it. But like I said, I'm ready to get out, so I'm excited to move out and create my own space and create whatever that next thing is.
And Rockwood was created in your parents' basement?
Yeah, entirely.
Entirely?
Yeah. There were a few like writing sessions I had done with a few people, but only like 3 of the songs I want to say were co-writes. The rest I produced them like in my basement.
That's kind of amazing because that'll never happen again.
I know. It's kind of sad, actually. It's a little bit sad.
It is a little bit sad. I want to talk about the album. So I know it's Rockwood is a park nearby where you grew up, right?
Yeah.
And it's a place.
Where did you grow up?
I'm Toronto.
Oh, right. You said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up in Toronto. I grew up It's really interesting to talk about nature because I grew up surrounded by nature, but I was also in the city. So it was the perfect balance of a big city like New York plus like the scenic nature of a big park. So I really did get it all.
Wait, so I haven't really spent much time exploring Toronto. Mm-hmm. So how does that work? Explain how that dynamic is.
So I grew up maybe like 25 minutes from the downtown core.
Okay.
And did you explore it? Like
very briefly whenever I've been there. It's been short.
There's the downtown core, which arguably looks and feels like New York City. And then there's all these suburbs outside of the city, maybe 25 minutes from downtown. Okay. And it's suburbs. It's homes and parks and little restaurants and little strip malls and whatever. So you do get the city mixed with the big green spaces. And it's not like New York City where it's Central Park and that's essentially basically it. Yeah. There's so many big parks like that. And growing up, I went to summer camp forever. I spent like 2 months outside of the city on this like beautiful lake for 2 months, and it was amazing. And that's where some of my closest friends are from. But when I moved to New York, I didn't realize the importance of nature in my life. Yeah. And I've lived in a lot of apartments since I've been here. And natural light is something that I didn't know I need, but I absolutely need it. And I think nature is sort of the great equalizer. It grounds everybody. Oh, yeah. It gets you're at one with the elements. Yep. And I think it sometimes just like strips away everything that you have going on. Yes. And it makes you feel pure for a bit.
I would say for me, I feel exactly the same about nature. I think there's something when you're in it, wherever you are, you feel like part of something a little bit bigger than yourself. For me anyway, I just feel like I'm connected to the things around me in a way that, especially when you're in a city, everyone's so individual, like usually just like in their own headspace, especially in New York City. Like everyone's got their own thing down. They don't care if you're famous. They don't care, within reason. And like when you get to be in nature alone or with your friends, like there is something so just like, for lack of a better word, wholesome about it. And
I think everything's kind of stripped away.
Yeah.
Like the noise is kind of stripped away, and you can see clearly.
Yes.
Hopefully you're surrounded by trees or a park or like kids playing. Like the purity of life I find exists within green spaces.
Yeah. I mean, you brought up Rockwood. So Rockwood is that. Rockwood is that park for me growing up. I also grew up in a suburb of a city, New York. And it was a Rockefeller-owned property that was on the Hudson River. And it was a place you'd go in high school when, like, you know, maybe it's late at night on a nice night and you want to just do something with your friends, but no one's house is available. So you go to Rockwood, you get Ben and Jerry's. Very safe. Yeah. People would go there for runs and they would go for like little dates. You'd bring like drinks and there were benches and you would, you know, hook up with someone on a bench. And there's just something. It's also like one of the most beautiful properties you've ever seen in your life. Like the trees are historic. Like it's like rolling hills on the Hudson. Like the way the light hits it, it's insane. But to your point, when you're there, whatever your little stresses are growing up, the world goes away for a second. You're in this like blissful little place with the people that you care about and love. And that is a defining part of growing up for me. That feeling. And I think I'll always be chasing that feeling. And that's why I named it my first album. That's because it represents home and my childhood and the people I care about and the things that I love. Yeah. So. Did
you always know it was going to be called Rockwood?
No.
No? How did it come to you?
Kind of just when I was writing everything that felt really good. I was writing, you know, I wrote Good to Be, and then I wrote Belong Together. I wrote like a song called I Hope It All Works Out. And these songs, like Good to Be is about my dad. Belong Together is about my friends and family and the people that I love in my life. And as I was like writing, there were a lot of songs that didn't make the album that were kind of just about like the town I grew up in and all that stuff. And I was just realizing I was writing about my childhood and my home. And I just started thinking about what defines that to me. And that's kind of when Rockwood came. And I grew up in a town called Pleasantville, which is like pretty ridiculous.
How close is Pleasantville to my perception of what Pleasantville is?
Pretty close. Pretty close. Pretty like idealistic little small town, nice little main street. There's 2 little main streets. Little like pizza shop, little like good restaurants and little bars. There's like a microbrewery. It's like, honestly, it's becoming a little bougie though.
Really?
People are moving up from New York City and it's becoming more like just like a nice Brooklyn area than it ever is like a suburb kind of thing.
Was
like
it a great
new apartments? There's like all this new stuff. But
was it a great place to grow up though?
The best.
How cool is that? How cool is that?
Yeah.
And you're able to pay tribute to like these amazing places that had such a profound impact on you in your music, and you get to dedicate the name of your album to this place. And that will never go away.
Never. And that's not lost on me either. I really enjoy that. This made me think like, are you still close with friends from home?
Yeah.
Same. They're like still like a lot of my best friends.
Totally.
I just remember so many like times, especially when I was making music and no one was really paying attention, where I would care so much about what I thought they were thinking of me.
Your friends?
Well, people that I grew up with. Not as so much my friends, but like the people you grow up with.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big
I think
time.
Everyone must feel that to a degree. That was something that really held me back a lot.
But do you feel like do you feel as if a driver behind your success is to prove to a lot of the people that you grew up with that like, I did it, I'm doing it?
Oh yeah.
It's fucked up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really fucked up.
So many people feel that way. I speak to a lot. I don't speak to a lot of friends about this, but I think there's this driving factor with your home friends that you want to prove to them, or home friends in that surrounding group that like you did it.
Yeah.
You made something. Like, look at me, I'm doing cool shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's behind that.
Yeah, there's something there. Also, my dad. is another one where it's like, you know what? I'm going to show you that I actually can do this. Not that he ever doubted me, but it's just like I always wanted to like impress him. I think when I was in school, I always worked hard in school. Like I cared about how I did. And I think that was instilled in me from like my parents. I'd say probably more my dad.
Did you always have a job when you had to have a job?
Yeah. I mean, like when I was 14, like my parents like, you have to get a job now. So I was a cashier person at this. I grew up in Pleasantville, and next to Pleasantville is a town called Chappaqua. Yeah. Chappaqua is like a very well-off town.
Yeah.
And like the Clintons live there.
I was just going to say the Clintons.
Yeah. So like I worked at this high-end clothing store at the time. I was the cashier there. Probably the most boring job of all time. It's so boring. But yeah, that was my first job. And after that, I was like, I need action. So I worked at a restaurant for the rest of my kind of high school years.
What were you doing at the restaurant? A waiter?
Different things. So it started as a bar back.
Oh, wow.
And then it became a bartender for a sec. And then I was like, I want to be a waiter because bartenders stay there so late.
You probably were a great waiter.
I loved being a waiter.
Really?
I had major anxiety though when the kitchen was taking too long. I'd have to like go and apologize. I hated that. But yeah, I love being a waiter.
But did they forgive you? You
usually,
just like smile.
Usually. Sometimes people are mean. They give you attitude. They're like, okay.
Well, I think when people are hungry, that's when their like worst sides come out. Even me at this age, I'm like hungry. I turn into like
a monster,
a fucking monster. I'm like, I just need food. I get like really hangry.
Yeah.
I want to know, in putting together Rockwood, what did you learn about yourself in this process?
Oh my, so much. I was thinking about this the other day, actually. Like, so in just putting it together, when I first started making music, so I learned how to produce. I taught myself on Logic, which started off as GarageBand.
Yeah.
And then I got Logic and whatever. I kept working towards that. And basically, when I first started making it, I was seeking perfection. I was like, I need to make this, when you record a guitar part, you're like, this needs to be perfect. Or like you record a vocal, needs to be perfect. And honestly, throughout Rockwood, I kind of took this, I don't know what, actually I do know what happened, but took a break from music for a sec. And when I returned to it and social media, when I returned to both of them, my outlook on it was like way clearer. Mm-hmm. I wasn't making things that felt like I was making it for social media. I was making things that felt good and then bringing it to social media. And
that's really interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, I think one of the big things I learned is like imperfections are beautiful. Imperfections are important in music. It's all about the feeling of the thing you're capturing on the mic. So like if a guitar note pops out that's not supposed to be there, but it feels good, leave it. Like if a part's played slightly out of time, but whatever is going on with, the bass and the kick drum at the time is hitting the right way, leave it. Like, especially with AI and all this stuff that's coming, like our imperfections are our strength now.
I think that's where the beauty lies too.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, so I think that's one of the main things I learned making it.
Do you find that in order to write something and sing something that's really meaningful or has like an importance to you, do you have to be feeling a very strong feeling in your life, whether that's extreme happiness or heartbreak or grief or elation? I don't know what it is, but does your best work come out when you're like in the throes of your feelings?
I don't think so. I think I mean, honestly, as a person, I'm quite level-headed. I think like it's just those bursts of inspiration or when I make kind of, or when I feel like there's magic coming out of my brain. It's nothing like, I don't have to be in like an extreme state of any emotion to make something that feels good. I think like when I'm just honest with my words is when I make something that feels good.
That makes sense, and that's super clear.
Yeah.
Do you have a lyric of yours that you feel is the most honest?
It's the first lyric that opens up the album. It's on Good to Be, and it's not very profound, but I remember I teared up when I wrote it. It's the first line of Good to Be. It's just, maybe I'm not some chosen one, but damn it, I'm my father's son, and that's something I'm pretty proud to be. And I just feel like there's just such like raw honesty in that. that it felt really good to say and write, and it always feels good to sing. So yeah, that's one of my favorites that comes to mind immediately.
How much of your songwriting is therapy versus like just storytelling? Like, do you use your creative outlet to like get the inner shit out that you need to deal with?
I think so. I think that happens like more subconsciously than consciously.
Yeah.
I think usually, like, honestly, a lot of times this might sound ridiculous, but a lot of times I feel like I learn what I'm thinking about regarding something in my life through just writing. And like phrases or words come out of me when I just like get to close my eyes and write over chords, where when I think about them, I'm like, that actually is how I feel right now. And I like didn't consciously like put that together yet. Does that make any sense?
It does.
So I think it becomes therapeutic because of that. And I get to kind of learn about myself through that. And that's honestly one of my favorite parts of songwriting, that part where you say something that you retroactively think on and you're like, whoa, I love that. Feels really like that is how I feel right now. And I didn't know it.
I think everybody can relate to that, because I find in my life when I have my thoughts in here and I just say them out loud, once they're out, they manifest and make more sense.
Yeah.
Is that clear? Like,
yes.
Once it's not in here and it's out there a little bit, if I hear the sound of my own voice saying something that I'm going through, I interpret it and I can feel it and deal with it in a different way than it's just stuck inside my head.
Yeah. I totally feel that. Yeah. Yeah. I think like the more you just sit on something and let that feeling out, the more you get to just ruminate on it. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's something to that.
Can we talk about TikTok?
Yeah.
What's your relationship to it as an artist? Because you touched on it a little bit earlier. You said you're sort of in the headspace where now it's really beautiful to create something that means something to you and then put it out there.
Yeah.
Versus create something for those digital platforms with that as the first step.
Yeah.
You and TikTok, you blew up on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah,
you blew up
it's
on
the reason. Yeah,
it's the reason.
Mm-hmm.
But what is your relationship with the reason?
Extreme gratefulness that it exists. Same with Instagram. With both of those two. And I'm not. I know I'm not alone in this. Social media gives me like major anxiety. Even when I'm confident in things, it honestly that gives me more anxiety, because I'm like, if I'm confident in something and I feel good, it feels really good to me, and I put it out there, there's this fear of people being like, nah, it's whatever. And then that feels terrible. It's the worst, which like, I guess that's life. But it's interesting. I go in and out of periods of TikTok. Like I appreciate it. I'm grateful for it. I love it. I think there's this anxiety that's associated with it. I think when I don't have anything to say, I hate feeling like I'm forced that I need to be like saying something. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, for sure. Just to like continue to feed this plant.
Yeah, like, because who knows? Like, do you need to feed it to make it work? Do you need to? And I kind of have this thing in my gut of just like, good things will find their way. And I remember thinking, I think I need to. So before I wrote Rockwood, I was dating someone. We broke up. We had plans to go on a trip, on a backpacking trip through Europe, through like just Spain, Italy, and France. Like,
how long were you together for?
The cheapest way we could do it. A year.
Okay.
And things didn't work out. We broke up, but we had this plan set, and we're like, fuck it, let's still go. So we went. Everyone was like, why are you doing this? And I don't know. We were both like, fuck it. And we went, and we stayed in hostels, did the cheapest way. It was so amazing. It was so much fun. It was a lot of like, honestly, it felt like solo traveling, because we wouldn't really spend time during the day together. It was kind of like we had someone we were comfortable with in this foreign place, and we made friends in hostels, which was such an awesome experience. I've never done that before to that point. Whatever. So I get home from that, obviously a whirlwind of emotions doing that. Didn't bring an instrument, didn't bring my laptop, barely posted anything online. And that's where I was in this headspace of make things that are important to you that feel good. I remember Noah Stick Season came out at that time. I was really inspired by that. Zach Bryan had his self-titled album that came out, which I was really inspired by his songwriting. And I was just listening to these people singing honestly about things that were important to them. And I felt super inspired by it. So that's when all these songs started pouring out of me, not thinking about social media at all. And I remember at that time, though, I had this deep anxiety of like, I should be posting stuff right now. I should be posting stuff like because I need to feed this beast and like, or do I need to feed this beast and all that stuff. So flash forward to now, I feel this very similar. I feel like that, and I just keep reminding myself of that period of time. I made something that felt good to me that I guess evidently was good. And I waited and I didn't let that anxiety of posting stop me from making something that I cared about. And when I finally put it out in the world, it resonated. So I think like, I just
what are you talking about? A song in particular?
Good to Be and Belong Together and eventually Rockwood.
Yeah.
And I saw him back in that headspace of like that, and you know, maybe a little more pressure now. I have a little more pressure maybe, but like I really try to not let that get in my head because make something good and it'll find people.
What is your relationship with Belong Together? I mean, do you have a complicated?
I love it.
You love it.
I love it.
What do you? What? I know it's what you're recognized for, and social media blew it the hell up, and I mean, it got you well on your way.
Yeah.
Do you have? This might sound like a tricky, weird question, but do you have any resentment towards it?
No. I know, like, maybe ask me again in like 20 years, maybe, or 10 or 5. But no, it's so fun to play live. It is
Does the crowd just go fucking crazy?
Yeah, it's the best part. Yeah, it's so good. I miss it. Yeah.
Is that always your last song?
Yeah. Like the music festivals is so much fun playing Belong Together. But it's changed my life. It's changed my friend's life. It's changed my family's life. It has given me a dream career. It has given me the opportunity to try to do it again with a, more money behind me, more of a, money to create a vision in a world of what's next. And I think for that, I'll forever be grateful for it. I also don't get sick of singing it. It's like an easy song for me to sing. It's not like too high or anything. It just feels good. And yeah, I don't know. I love it. Yeah.
I wish I could sing. I do.
Do you know? Can you definitely not?
I can definitely not sing.
No matter what. You're sure of that?
Should we try?
I mean, if you want.
I can't try. But I wish I can't sing. And
Okay.
I'm kind of envious of people who can.
Okay.
Because I think it's so awesome to be able to sing. Period. End of story. That's it. I don't even need to go there. What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about you?
Maybe you'll resonate with this. When you have a dream career or goal and you're starting out at it, for me, I was putting myself out there online in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And things work, things don't. You take note of what worked. You build on that. And you keep building this thing of you learn from your mistakes and you learn from what works and you create this optimized thing of what you are online. And for a lot of time, the things that we're doing well are these exaggerated versions of yourself. And maybe it still is that, but I don't know how else to actually explain that other than exaggerated versions of things often work. Things that are extremely scary will connect. Things that are hateful, things that are super loving, maybe things that are very happy, things that are very sad, and the extremes, which I guess is the fucked up world we live in today. But so for the longest time, I was just putting things online that were kind of exaggerated versions of myself. I'm naturally optimistic. All that stuff's true, but I think the way I was portraying it is in a way that is a little exaggerated. And I think there are a lot of parts of me that I'm from New York. I'm definitely a little aggressive. I definitely have this very ambitious ness and that I've gotten from my family and just where I'm from. And I'm also super, there are parts of me that people don't know a lot. And I think parts that I'm not scared to show either. They just haven't been revealed yet. And so I think sometimes maybe I'm seen by some people as this super everything's amazing guy, and I'm not like that. I'm an optimist, and I believe to focus on the good and not to sit in your sadness, but work through it and find things that make you happy and chase them. But I think like there are definitely parts of me that people don't know about that I'm honestly excited to show more of in the next album.
What parts of you are you excited to show? Because I think it's a pretty even doing this for me is like it's a pretty vulnerable experience.
Yeah.
And you put yourself out there and you're open to criticism and feedback and thoughts and hate and chatter and those home friends either laughing about you or snickering behind your back, whatever it may be. Are you confident showing different sides of your vulnerability to the world?
I think so, yeah. Especially if I can, if I make a song that shows that thing that I'm trying to show in the best way, that's where I gain confidence. Like if I can create a song that's showing this part of me that the world hasn't seen that I want it to see, that, I don't know, there's something about that gives me confidence to show it, if that makes any sense.
It totally does. So tell me, you have a single that's coming out this week.
Yes. So it's a song, it's very hard for me to write on the road. Or notoriously it has been. And for whatever reason, I've been trying to push myself to. But you know what happens? You go to this place you've never been to before. You're with your friends. You want to go explore it. Like, so why would I want to sit in my hotel room and write a song?
For sure.
Anyway, I forced myself to I tried one day. I came up with a cool idea in Dublin, like just a voice memo idea, which is how all my songs start, pretty much.
Do you save all those voice memos?
Oh, yeah. My phone is like 12,000 voice memos, like insanity. And I'm really bad at labeling too, so it's really insanity.
It's like the date and the address of wherever you were.
Yeah, it's like new recording, like 12,451.
Right.
Like where? I got to London. We were playing at the Coco, which is this really cool theater, and we had a few nights there. And I was in my hotel, and I think it might have been a shitty day out, which made me just like, oh, maybe I have a little to-go studio. I set it up, and I just like started working the song, and I kind of just sang it all in one day, and I built it all in one day. It was a song called Closer to Me, and I was kind of talking to this girl at the time that inevitably didn't work out. I was on the road, and it just didn't work out. But the song's about her, and it's just kind of about, unexpected things coming into your life that you really grow fond of. And I incorporated a lot of my band members in making it, which was really fun, which I had never done before.
In the process of making it?
Actually, in the production of it.
Cool.
Which, like, moving forward to this second album, my plan is to build the production with my band. I think I learned through touring live, like, there's a part of me and my voice and who I am that shines through when I have musicians around me. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
everything on Rockwood is just like me playing individual instruments and building it, as opposed to just like the band dynamic, which I've always been a bigger fan of than like solo artists, to be honest. Or at least like the E Street Band and Bruce. It's like it's he like him, but he has his band. Anyway, so Closer to Me is it's a fun song. I love putting out music, and I'm kind of getting a little antsy about, the last song I put out was in like May or something, and this is only the second song this year I'm putting out, and I just want to get something out there while I'm building the second album to, like, the people that care and are listening. And
it also keeps you accountable.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Wait, what do you mean by that?
I think it keeps you... do you have a release date for the second album? No. You're like...
No, it's loose. It's like loose.
But don't you feel if you're putting something out there, it means that you need to continue...
Oh, yeah.
To put this thing together. And I'm not saying rush it, but it's top of mind. You've released something. People are going to want more of it.
Yeah.
You need to continue to hone that work ethic.
Yeah. So I'd say the two singles I put out this year, a song called Who Knows, came out in May, and this one, are kind of just two stepping stones from Rockwood into this next project. Incorporating my band a little more, trying to write about different things. And so I'm excited about it. We made a little video for it, and just continue to build, I guess.
Who is somebody that would be a dream collaborator?
So the thing about me, I feel like I love a lot of things, but I'm not die hard about anyone or anything. I think if I got to sit down with someone like Taylor Swift and talk to her just about her career, just talk. That would be I love talking to people and learning about how they got to where they are. Like, I remember I interned for the Maury show in college.
Maury Povich?
Yeah. And I remember, honestly, this is a good story. The first Okay. So I was posting like shitty covers on Instagram at this time. It was in college. The executive producer of the show comes into the intern office one day and he's like, hey guys, whatever, his name was Paul. He's like, my name's Paul. If you guys ever want to come talk to me, my door's open, which is awesome for like the head guy at some show to say. And I immediately took the opportunity to go in and talk to him and figure out how he got there, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I do that. We have a great conversation. I tell him I'm kind of pursuing music, and he follows me on Instagram. I go to my dorm that night. I had a cover of The Scientist on Instagram, and I think at that time, I don't even know if DMs existed. He commented like, this is incredible. Come to my office first thing Monday morning. So then I go to his office Monday morning. He's like gassing me up, and he says to me, at the end of our little like 30-minute chat, he says to me like, after today, like I'm gonna have my assistant take you to Guitar Center. I told him I wanted a guitar that could plug in to play out live. He's like, my assistant's gonna take you to Guitar Center. I want to get you that guitar. And I was like, you do not have to do that. And he was just like, no, I want to. And he's like, I wanna. He's like, just make sure you put me in the documentary about you one day. And then, so I went to the Guitar Center after, and I got this guitar that I wrote "Belong Together, Good to Be" all of Rockwood on. Is still like my first guitar. I like told my parents, they were crying. Like he came to I was lucky. We sold 2 nights out in Irving Plaza last December, and one of them was my birthday, and he came to that show, and I got to tell this story to a sold out thing, and it was like everyone was like crying. But yeah, so that was but you know what?
Incredible.
Yeah. It was a crazy thing.
You were going to say something.
I think one thing I just want to say in general, which I'm wondering if you feel the same, when you go after such a crazy ambitious thing like going to make music or like being in the public facing thing anywhere, or just like a hard career choice to take, I feel like you talk about nature, you're talking about feeling like connected in that sense. Like I feel like this might make me sound like a hippie, but like the universe gives you signs of like which way to go. Mm-hmm. And I think like when you feel like maybe down or like that you're not choosing the right thing, something like that happens in my life where like I'm like, okay, that's the universe telling me to like keep going. Mm-hmm. And like I put out Good to Be before Belong Together, which is the first song off Rockwood. Did better than any song I'd ever put out before. Me and my manager were like, let's route a small tour. We did that. I had a friend growing up that like was so interested in live shows that like built this whole rig and like this whole like technical setup of how you put a live show together. And he did it with us for free when we had like no budget. And like it's things like this, like people and things coming into my life that just like remind me to keep going. And sometimes when that doesn't happen, you kind of just have to pivot and you have to go, maybe like that's not the right thing when you're trying to force anything too much. I don't know. I feel like there's really something to that I've tried to be aware of and listen to.
I fully relate.
Yeah.
I fully relate. I think as somebody who is I like to be in control. I don't think I'm a control freak, but I like to be in control. And sometimes when you lose control or things happen to you that throws that sense of having an organized calendar out the window.
Yeah.
That's sort of when the magic can happen.
Yeah.
And it's when you surrender a little bit and say, okay, all this shit's going on in my life. I don't entirely know what direction I'm going in.
Yeah.
But like, and I'm not a religious person.
Neither am I.
I'm not religious at all. But
Same.
like, there's something out there that will protect you and help you find your way.
Same. I'm the exact same way. The crazy thing is I'm not religious. So I think I look at nature as like, in the universe, like things that give me some connection to like, something beyond me, if that makes any sense. Just like living.
What do you want people to take away from your music?
I hope that I almost think about my music as like, I hope people can take it in for whatever they need in that moment. I kind of think about my live show as like what I think I want people to take. And I think going back to what we first talked about of connecting people in a space and making them kind of just forget about the things that are holding them back and down right now and just getting to enjoy the moment and make that memory with them is something that it's really important to me. And I also think more so than ever, I think today, and this is kind of like going into what this second album is deeply working on, there's so many things we can fight about. There's so many things we could disagree about, and there's so much hate that we can spread and all this stuff, and extremes like we go, or like the things that do well. And I think like there's so many parts of us, whether you work on like Wall Street or you are a construction worker anywhere in the world, that like bring us together. That there's like basic human things. Like we all want our kids to be better off than we are if we have kids, or we all want, our families to be safe and comfortable. We all like want the people we love to be happy and we want to live in a world that treats us fairly and with respect. And I think reminding everyone of our humanity and like what actually it is to be human is like what I kind of I think like humanity transcends our disagreements, and no matter what. And I think like people forget that sometimes. And I'm constantly trying to remind myself of that when I see something online that bothers me, or like I see some politician say something that pisses me off, or like I see something I disagree with. Like, I don't know. I just really think we're way more we have way more in common than we do not. And I think like people need to remember that and hear that. And I hope I'm just one guy, but I hope I can just maybe remind someone that. I think that's because I think that makes the world a better place.